Once upon a time, in a town called Amherst, there's a girl named Annie. One day, you give her a piece of white paper and then another piece of white paper of different materiality. You ask her to create 2 origami cranes using these 2 pieces of paper. You give her one single instruction. After a while, she comes back. With the first paper, Annie makes this. But with the second paper, she makes this. Then you must be like,
What?
In popular music, it is the same principle. And today we're gonna talk about rethinking melody through voice and languages. The formal property of a song, the musical composition, the arrangement, the instrumental, is that single piece of instruction you give to Annie. However, the final 2 pieces of music in 2 different languages are like the 2 origami cranes made of 2 different paper. So, what on earth is a musical object? Is it simply the notes, the musical composition, the raw materials? Or is the singer's voice and language part of it? Can the melody really be separated from the voice or language? In seeking the answers, I will show you 2 sets of songs, Fairy Tale and Half Moon Serenade. We will talk about how the genome influences the phenol. According to Roland Barthes and his paper, The Grain of the Voice, the genome represents the physical aspect of a voice, for instance, how a sound is produced, whereas the phenol is the emotions, expressions, and meanings of a voice. Or maybe you could think of genome as the genes of the voice, and the phenol being the phenomenon. Specifically, for the first set, we will look at the tones. For the second set, we will look at the pronunciations. And the tones and pronunciations are the genomes of my project. To eliminate the differences in timbre or vocal style as much as possible, instead of using materials online sung by different singers, I will sing the songs myself. I hope you don't mind. So, why don't we take a break and listen to Fairy Tale first?
只是因为在人群中多看了你一眼，再也没能忘掉你容颜。梦想着偶然能有一天再相见，从此我开始孤单思念。想你时你在天边，想你时你在眼前，想你时你在脑海，想你时你在心田。你愿相信我们前世有约，今生的爱情故事不会再改变。宁愿用这一生等你发现，我一直在你身旁，从未走远。 misty morning when I saw your smiling face. You only looked at me and I was yours. When I turned around, you were nowhere to be seen. You had walked away and closed the door. When will I see you again? When will the sky stop to rain? When will the stars start to shine? When will I know that you're mine? Did I ever meet you in the sunshine? And when we were about 1,000 years away, did I ever hold you in the moonlight? Did we make every minute last another day? Did I ever meet you in the sunshine? And when we were about 1,000 years away, did I ever hold you in the moonlight? Did we make every minute last another day? In the misty morning when I saw your smiling face.
I have two examples for you. The first set that I'm gonna talk about is in Mandarin versus
Smiling face.
Here's a spectrogram for the Mandarin version of 一眼. As you can see, the blue line in the spectrogram represents the pitches of this period. So, for instance, from 一 to 眼, the pitch shifts from a higher point to a lower point. Here's the numeral. From 一 to 眼, from the first word to the second word, the written notes are from F sharp to C sharp. And if you want to make it fancier, you can add an E in between the F sharp and the C sharp, which I did. But the actual pitch shifts from 329.2 Hz to 269.7 Hz. The difference between the two pitches is 59.5 Hz. Keep this in mind, we'll come back to it. Okay, so here's an English version spectrogram. And here are the numbers. So from smiling to face, the written notes shift from F sharp to C sharp. And if you want to make it fancier again, you can add an E in between F sharp and C sharp, which I did, to make it the same as the Chinese version. But the actual pitches shift from 313.3 Hz to 273.2 Hz. And the pitch difference is 40.1 Hz. Then, when we compare the Mandarin version and the English version together, we can see that the pitch difference in the Mandarin version is quite larger than the pitch difference in the English version, although the written notes are exactly the same. Why? What happened? In my opinion, this difference is because of the tones. As you can see here, in Mandarin, the tones for 一眼 are the first tone and the third tone. The first tone starts at a relatively high point and stays there, but the third tone starts from a higher point and goes downward and then upward again immediately. 一眼. Here's how it sounds like. However, in English, smiling face, I don't see any indication of tones here. In addition, how the tone shifts from the first one to the third one sounds very similar to how the written notes shift from F sharp to C sharp. For instance, 一眼一眼一眼一眼一眼一眼一眼一眼 Do you see the connection? If not, it's okay. We'll take a look at another step.
相见
Versus
一心
Similar procedure. Let's look at the spectrogram of the Mandarin version 相见 first. So from 相 to 见, from the first word to the second word, the written notes shift from F sharp to E, or from C sharp to F sharp to E, while the actual pitches shift from 336 Hz to 319 Hz. The difference between the two pitches is 17 Hz. What about the English one? So the written notes of be seen are from F sharp to E, which is exactly the same as the Mandarin version. However, the pitches shift from 334.8 Hz to 321.2 Hz, and the pitch difference of be seen is 13.6 Hz. And again, when we compare the Mandarin version and the English version together, we can see that the pitch difference of the Mandarin version is larger than the pitch difference of the English version, although the written notes are exactly the same. Why? What happened? Let's look at the tones of 相见 first. So in Mandarin, the tone of 相 is the first tone, and the tone of 见 is the fourth tone. The first tone starts at a relatively higher point and stays there, whereas the fourth tone starts from an even higher point and goes downward straightforwardly. And again, how the tones shift from the first one to the fourth one, from 相 to 见, sounds pretty similar to how the pitch shifts from F sharp to E. 相见相见相见相见 Do you see the connection? However, in English, in be seen, again, there is no indication of tones here. So the Mandarin version, which is the original one, makes more sense in the melody. At this point, some of you may argue that the two versions sound so dissimilar, but mainly because Mandarin and English are two totally different languages, and there might be some phrases that convey different messages in English. My next example, Half Moon Serenade, responds to this concern directly. As shown here, the lyrics in Mandarin and Cantonese are the spitting images of each other. They are exactly the same because we share exactly the same character system. Let's listen to the song first.
人人已在失眠夜夢情願星宿人人天經笑齊共如有自信在跳動為何只是一彎留在我的前河這晚以後人算急住深入天上的明月是不可拥有天如去过只遗留不可挽救再分别为何只是失望填密我的空虚这晚夜没有吻别正在说永久想不到是借口从未一会有分 是不会好，太空中走的走着，命运般依心着，我的牽掛，我的渴望，節節以後。深入天上的明月，是不可拥有，情如去花枝叶柳，无可挽救。再分别，为何只是失望？填满我的空虚，这晚夜没有吻别，应在虚伪高尚巴多。是之後，總會以為要分手，但我的心為分為下，仍然被他佔有。他似這月，仍然是不會好，太空中走的走着，命運般依心着。我的牽掛，我的渴望，節節以後。正在說永久，想不到是借口，總唯一會要分。太空中走的走着，命運般依心着，我的牽掛，我的渴望，節節以後。我的牽掛，我的渴望，節節以後。
Thanks for listening. Now you may be very familiar with the procedure, so I'm not gonna explain it again. Just remember that in this set, our main focus is the pronunciation instead of the tones. I'm gonna talk about in the two different phonological systems, the Mandarin one and the Cantonese one. Specifically, I want you to pay particular attention to the last single word, 九, in this sentence. Here's the spectrogram for the Cantonese version, 仍在说永久. So what I'm gonna do now is to take a look at the pitches of the last single word, 九. As you can see here, from the lowest pitch to the highest pitch, it shifts from 281 Hz to 432.7 Hz. And the pitch difference between the two is 151.7 Hz. Now let's look at the Mandarin version. And as you can see in this number analysis, from the lowest pitch to the highest pitch of the single word, 九, it shifts from 329.8 Hz to 396.4 Hz. And the pitch difference between the two is 66.6 Hz. When we compare the Cantonese version and the Mandarin version together, it is easy to see that although it is the same word, the pitch difference in Cantonese is quite larger than the Mandarin version. Why? What happened? Why is the Cantonese version more dramatic than the Mandarin version? The magic lies in the phonology. In Cantonese, G is the initial and the L is the final. You might be very confused right now. I know, so I have the IPA for you, the International Phonetic Alphabet. In IPA, consonant is equivalent to initial in Chinese, and vowel is equivalent to finals in Chinese. As you can see in this IPA chart, the consonant of gal is a plosive one, meaning that you can feel the air coming out of your mouth. It feels like your mouth is exploding. The vowel of the Cantonese version actually contains two parts. It shifts from a near open and central one to a closed and back one. Then in Mandarin, the initial of jiu is J. The finals of jiu is you, IU. You might be confused again, so I have IPA for you. As you can see in this chart, the consonant of the Mandarin version shifts from one thing to another. But as indicated below the chart, where symbols appear in pairs, the one to the right represents a modally voiced consonant, which means that although the first part of the consonant of the Mandarin version seems plosive, it is not necessarily pronounced as much as the second part. The vowel of the Mandarin version, different from the Cantonese version, is a single vowel. It is a close and back one. Now let's get the Cantonese version and the Mandarin version together. While the consonant of the Cantonese version is a plosive one, the air comes out of your mouth. The consonant of the Mandarin version is a non-plosive one. While the vowel of the Cantonese version shifts from near open central one to a close and back one, the vowel of the Mandarin version is a close and back vowel. In conclusion, the Cantonese version sounds more dramatic than the Mandarin version, mainly because it has a more dramatic attack. What does it mean? It means that the pronunciation of the Cantonese version is stronger than the Mandarin version. In other words, the Mandarin version is softer than the Cantonese version because of this phonological difference. Here's a bonus for you. Let's talk about the tones. I know that you may be questioning right now. As you can see here, the tone of jiu in Cantonese is the second tone, which rises slightly from a relatively lower point. In Mandarin, however, the tone is the third tone, which moves downward and then upward immediately. The written note of jiu shifts from F to G, which is an upward motion by one step. It sounds very similar to the motion of jiu in Cantonese. Gao, from a relatively lower point to a relatively higher point. This shows that the Cantonese, which is the original version, makes more sense in this melody. If this song was written in Mandarin first, it may sound very different. It must be a lot for you to digest now. Let's take a deep breath and do yoga. Oops, sorry, just kidding, we're not gonna do this. Back to business. Rethinking melody through voice and language. As the cranes are realized through the pieces of paper, so are the songs through different languages. In other words, it is the voice that makes the written melody real and distinguished, and the language is one crucial part of the voice. To conclude, the notion of a musical object in pop music is grounded in the milieu of musical composition: beat, meter, tempo, rhythm, notes, melody, dynamics, and lyrics. The musical composition is inseparable from the language that the lyrics is written in. Some of you may argue with me again. You know what? I stand with Berger and his fabulous introduction to the book Global Pop Local Language. In the film, the talented Mr. Ripley, Tom is dragged by an Italian musician to the stage. While worrying about losing his credibility in the jazz world, he quickly mimics the band singing in Italian. Like what Berger suggested, Because the audience speak no Italian, the choice of singing the song in Italian will push the focus merely on the performance aspect, the melody, arrangement, actor's stage behavior, etc., rather than the lyrics. I agree that when we don't speak the language, we are pushed to focus on the musical materials without the lyrics. However, this point also indicates the importance of lyrics. That is, we get to know the content of the song, the meaning of the song. You don't want to dance to a foreign music while the subject matter is a curse, do you? If we push it even further, another question exists. Is it necessary to have translations for a piece of music? For instance, in absolute music, there is no translation of lyrics, as there is no lyrics. People are doing fine. They enjoy it, analyze it, comprehend it, interpret it. However, when the lyrics is born, in this case, in popular music, people fall into a trap where they're eager to know what the lyrics is talking about, and thus, they want translations. This is similar to learning to speak. When simply humming is not enough for an infant to communicate ideas or express feelings, the baby starts to imitate her mother's languages. As Benjamin argues in his essay, The Task of the Translator, translation works as the continuing life of the original. It aims to express the innermost relation between languages. The relation here is defined as the underlying manner, such as the meanings, the moods, etc. At the same time, the manner that roots deeply underneath the translatability of a piece is untranslatable. That being said, although the content could be translated in different languages or could be pronounced in different dialects, the genome of a song is unique to every language, and the phenome, the mood, the distinguished cultural background of a word can never be duplicated. This is what makes the world diverse and inclusive, rather than monotonous or homogeneous. Furthermore, there is no single standard of explaining the connection between the genome and phenome that could apply to all cultures. Finally, let's go back to Annie and her cranes. What if they sang? Anyways, thank you for watching and hope you enjoyed.